I need your help to make my neighbor's scrappy dog disappear.
If you're going to be accused of being a witch,
be the queen of hell.
Absolutely.
Jesus, gotta go now.
It's a really good impression, Blair.
Just another birthday. It's 3090.
Got him.
Yeah.
Talk about the dead dog.
Don't.
Between February 1692 and May 1693, more than 200 people were accused of witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts.
By the end of the Salem witch trials, the Massachusetts Bay Colony had executed 14 women, 5 men, and 2 dogs.
My name is Blair.
And I'm Carley.
This is Girl Historians.
The Salem Witch Files.
Ahoy! Oh my God, I forgot my hat.
You forgot it at home?
I forgot it at home.
That's okay.
Well, welcome back to Girl Historians.
I'm Carley.
I'm Blair.
And this is the comedy podcast where we dive deep into different historical events and just unpack it like the girl historians we are.
Because nothing more better than being a girl who also loves her history so we don't repeat it.
Yeah. This season is the Salem Witch Files, and we're digging deep into the Salem Witch Trials.
Whoa. And you're a poet and you didn't know it.
Uh-huh. Walt Whitman found dead in a ditch.
Walt Whitman found freaking drowned.
Drag his ass.
I have a Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass in my bathroom.
I know. Whenever I walk into your bathroom, I'm always like, this is correct.
Yeah.
A waterlogged copy. It's worth noting.
Oh, yeah, because I read it in the bath. I need to stop reading books in the bath. I almost ripped my copy of Infinite Jest in half because I kept reading it in the bath, and that book is like 5 pounds, so it would fall into the water, obviously. But my Leaves of Grass is also so waterlogged, and then I would just be crying in the bath reading Walt Whitman, so I had to stop.
Ugh.
But it's also a Breaking Bad reference, and that's a true litmus test. Yeah.
Sorry, I was there on the weekend and I was like, is this a reference to Hank picking up the book? Interesting.
It was. Yeah, it's a half and half. I was like, this is a bathroom book, but then also a Breaking Bad reference, because if you've seen Breaking Bad, that's how Hank figures out that Walter White is Heisenberg. Carly's looking at me with
I don't know. I've
absolutely
never seen an
blank eyes.
episode. I've never seen an episode of Breaking Bad.
It's so good.
I don't support the opioid epidemic.
Okay, I wouldn't say that that's what Breaking Bad is doing.
Literally no opioids in that show at all.
Yeah,
it's completely
meth.
Okay, I don't know if I can know.
No, it's good. Carly doesn't know the difference between opioids and meth. That's how non-drugs.
I don't.
Stay out of drugs, Carly.
I know. I'm not really a drug person. I smoke a lot of weed, obviously, and I was addicted to coke as an 18-year-old.
But
and leave that in. Leave that shit in.
Everyone should know. It's important to know that you can be addicted to coke as a teenager and get over it.
And get over it and have a podcast. This is actually an inspiring story.
It actually is. I think I would have had a coke addiction if a coke had come in my life at a time where I could had more disposable income for drugs.
Truly. Yeah, fair.
You know what I mean?
No, definitely. Also, I think being depressed is a big part of it, because really what I was doing was like looking for a good feeling.
Oh yeah,
it makes you depressed. The coke fallout is really bad. That's why honestly, basically why I can't do drugs anymore is because I'm like, I can't feel depressed anymore. Like I can't welcome that feeling into my brain more so than I'm already experiencing it.
And cocaine, the kind of thing where you kind of come to and it's 7 a.m. and you're at some random person's apartment and it's like you're shaking.
To walk home from your friend's condo. Well,
and it's always a condo.
And it is a condo. It's a bare condo. Like it's not decorated. And then you're walking home while people are going to work. It's just
rough.
Tough.
That's tough. You can't really come back from that.
No.
You're like, I've ruined the next 4 days for myself and my mental health for the foreseeable future.
No, exactly. And your brain is unable to process dopamine for a bit. Like you've wasted all your happy chemicals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
And it's awesome. And you're trying to go to bed and the sun is rising and your skin is quivering.
Yeah. So
you're like, this was actually really fun.
No, I had so much fun. This
was actually really fun. This is what it's like to be young. You're biting your tongue.
Grinding your teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
we're going to talk about the Salem Witch Trials. Today we're covering a topic. I mean, we'll get into our weeks, but I do want to say that today we're covering a much requested topic.
Probably our most ever. We've never gotten so many requests for an episode topic as this one.
Well, we've probably gotten a couple recommendations to do an episode about Violet Jessup for the Titanic
Yeah,
podcast.
but we kind of say, I do not see, I do not hear.
If I can't see it, then it cannot hurt me.
I cannot see.
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.
See,
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.
See, there's the fear. We're like, Violet Jessup, who?
I don't know. No, I don't know.
Anyone who's emailed us with the kindest, most informative emails being like, you guys should do an episode of Violet Jessup. We see you. Thank you so much. Love you.
Can you recap very quickly what the Violet Jessup thing is?
No.
So we could have said, here's the thing.
We lied in season 1. It's a long and short of what happened.
We had said so often in season 1, and we don't say it enough in season 2, that we're going to misspeak, and we are very interested in these topics.
Yes.
But sometimes we fuck up.
We are trying to be historians. We are not historians. And we actually do, I want to stress, we take a lot of time and effort to research things. And like,
we just get confused.
Sometimes
like
we get confused, we get carried away.
Before doing the season, like we did like 2 months of research,
Yeah.
like hardcore.
Yeah.
Like we are researching these things. It's just that we're also dumb.
Yeah, sometimes we get carried away on the fun of it all. And then we say that Molly Brown survived 3 shipwrecks.
But we mean
Violet Jessup.
And yes, we said Molly Brown survives 4 shipwrecks, and we meant Violet Jessup. And Molly Brown didn't survive other shipwrecks. Like she was
pretty much on land for the rest of her life.
And like the reason they called her unsinkable is because of the musical, and also just because she got onto the lifeboat pretty easily.
Yeah, and she yelled at the guy driving the lifeboat.
And we got confused and said Molly Brown survived 4 shipwrecks. We meant Violet Jessup. And then we just kind of created an information. And then we issued an apology, kind of Trojan horsed in a Patreon exclusive episode. Like the cowards we are.
Yeah, so for $4 a month, you can hear our Violet Jessup apology, and then we never address it again.
Yes.
We did get a YouTube comment once that was someone, oh my God, and I should have found your name. I'm sorry if this was you, but someone commented being like, I told my ex the Molly Brown survived all these shipwrecks and now we broke up. So now he'll just think that forever.
Yeah, I'm blocked.
I think that's powerful.
No, and that's beautiful. And that's what it is to be a girl historian. It's like to go around with these facts that might be true, but you're not sure.
To tell someone a fact and then block.
Bye, bitch.
No follow-up, bitch.
No. So that was probably our most requested episode, but our second most requested episode is about the 2 dogs that were executed during the Salem witch trials. Because in the intro to every episode, we say that 2 dogs were also killed because of the Salem witch trials, and everyone's like, dig into it. And we didn't really want to dig into it for a bit because I'm going to be honest with you guys, 2 dogs die. And while many, many human beings died, human beings have a weird way of separating ourselves from other animals to try and ascribe meaning in our lives.
Yeah, but if a dog dies, I die too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're talking today about the 2 dogs that are murdered.
Yes.
Eventually. Like I'm gonna walk you through. I'm trying to make this as not as sad as possible in the sense that like.
Well, we know the end outcome, which is the dogs die. Trigger warning. Dogs die.
Trigger warning, dogs died in the 1600s.
It's really too bad. And you know that they look different than dogs today because of the breeding.
Yeah, they look like wolfy.
They've
got wolf energy.
They've got like wolf faces. They've got those like slicked down little faces. Their fur's all different. I bet they're humongous. Like I bet they're dire wolves.
Like the Irish wolfhound.
Yeah. Or like a sleigh dog. Like a sled. You know, they're big.
Unfortunately, there's just like not a lot of information about these beyond like the actual story. Because I was looking in, like I have questions, but they didn't care. Like they didn't have the foresight when they were creating documentation about this to understand how interested in the 2 dogs as a society we were going to be.
I wanted
so they were just like a dog sketch. Died. No,
dog
exactly.
died.
I'm like I want a sketch.
I want a picture of the dog.
I want a background of the dog. What's the dog's name?
Does the dog have siblings? Does the dog have a mommy and a daddy?
What's its story?
Yeah, what's going on there?
So we're not going to get that, but I will provide as much information as I could find.
I think that there are dogs that are witches now, I will say. And I'm going to say that they're those like fucked up little pugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Alicia, my friend Alicia, if you're listening to this, love you, but your dogs look so fucked up. I bet they're witches. She's got the 2 most fucked up looking pugs I've ever seen in my life.
I love that. I love fucked up dogs.
And they just kind of like throw their bodies around. Like, you know when like a dog can't really walk, so it just sort of throws its body around?
I feel like Finch the dog is a witch.
Finch is a witch, probably.
Yeah. If
Finch
you don't know who
Rob's
Finch the dog is, get out. Get
out.
Watch the other episodes of the podcast. No,
Finch
I'm adding
Rob's dog.
Finch is Rob's dog. I'm sorry. I'm bringing anger into this, and I don't really know why.
No, I know
I'm
why.
not angry. Like, I'm not angry.
But you've had, you know what? You've had a lot of anger in your vicinity. of like other people. So you've absorbed it and are taking it out on a dog and our beautiful listeners.
No, there's the occult shop that's just up the street from me. You can buy stuff online, and I have purchased and have to pick up later a crystal.
Oh, that's smart.
That absorbs negative energy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I really feel as though recently someone's been trying to like put a hex on me. But yes, it does just feel like recently my energy is being attacked by outside forces. And even whether you want to believe that in the hippy dippy way or just in the way of like, there are people in this world who are wishing me ill as of late.
Yeah.
I need something to protect my energy. Because I wear that moonstone ring, and I really do feel the power of that. Of it's like, the moonstone ring is supposed to like bring in like negative energy and help you like basically like find direction from it. So I find it very useful of just being like, I feel like I know my decisions and where I need to be going with that. I like that ring a lot.
Like that.
I love my crystals, obviously.
I think I'm gonna get into crystals. I think you've talked about it enough.
I love a crystal.
And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get into crystals, and I'm gonna teach you this summer how to read tarot. That'll be my trade-off.
So fun. Okay.
And you have to teach me about crystals.
Okay, that's a lot of fun.
This can be our energy exchange.
Okay, that's very fun. And we'll do it in the park.
In a park, obviously. In a park. Obviously in a park.
Yes. So how was your week, Blair?
My week's pretty good.
You won an award?
I won an award. Yeah, me and I was honestly more involved than I meant to be. In Toronto, there's a thing called the Toronto Sketch Comedy Festival, which is just a comedy festival. And I had a couple of like short films I was a part of screen there. One, Carley's partner Reese was also in.
Yes.
It's like brother and sister. And you were also in it also.
Yeah, silently.
Yeah, Carley was silent on camera in it.
I was silent on camera. That's true.
It was an animation made by our friend Griffin.
I love that
excellent
film. I wonder if it's online.
It is. I think it is.
It is. Okay, then we'll link it in the show notes and the YouTube description because it's very funny.
It's very funny.
I really, really like it. I've linked a couple of Griffin's stuff before on my channel just because he really makes me laugh. He's an
excellent
filmmaker. Yeah, and he makes stuff fast too.
Yeah, he really does.
He turns shit around.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe.
So we made this animation and it was great. And that one best animated short. And then another so yeah, I was in these different shorts. I won a performance award from that. And then me and my comedy partner, Brendan, won this award that's like a it's called Sketchiest Sketch Troupe.
I know, and fuck them for doing that because it just
so
makes
mean.
it seem fake now.
It seems so fake, and it's the only award you doesn't go up on stage to accept it.
Really?
They just give it to you, and you stand up in the crowd and wave. But it's kind of a cool award because it's like
best sketch troupe. Basically,
it's a peer voted award. So all the other sketch troupes vote for who they think they should win, and we won that. So it's like in a way we're People's Princess. We're Princess Diana of Toronto Sketch Comedy. But it's very touching in the way that it's nice to be recognized by governing bodies and stuff like that, but it's really nice to be recognized by people who are your friends.
No, that feels good, especially because if you're all in the same industry, it really takes a lot of arm twisting for somebody to admit that somebody in their own industry is good. So you know that you've not only are you talented, but people like you.
Yeah, it's nice to know that people want to get a beer with us.
Yeah.
That I will take that over being talented any day.
100%. And you guys are great.
Well, thank you.
And Brendan, of course, was in our live show episode and he presented on January 6th.
On January 6th, the insurrection. If you haven't listened to it, he does an excellent job.
He goes so in depth and also you can't really see it. Well, you can't see it because it's not a video, but he wrote the whole thing in green pen.
And then there was a green light lighting the notebook.
So it was as if he wrote it in invisible ink.
And he's really trying his best.
I know.
But the cool thing about this award is they give you this kind of loan of $1,200 or something like that to put on a full length sketch show.
Yeah.
And then the idea is that you're supposed to make that money back plus some, give it back to the festival to go to another troupe next year.
So guys, start saving up to come to Toronto Sketch Fest next year.
Yeah, exactly. Tickets for a show will be $100.
Is it? It's 24 double B?
24 double B.
I'm very bad with numbers, so I always forget the numbers.
I will obviously be leveraging this podcast to advertise the show when the time comes.
I'm really happy because this podcast has now become credits that people say before I get on stage. People are from Girl. She's a podcast called Girl Historians, and I'm like, I fucking do.
Yes, bitch.
Because sometimes people are just she's on YouTube, and I'm like, don't say that.
That could be
because now they think I vlog. You know what I mean? Now they think I'm doing Get Ready With Me. And no shame in the game, but that's not what you want the audience picturing before you do stand-up comedy.
It's the same when people will introduce me all the time saying she's really funny on TikTok. I'm like, oh my God. No, people are gonna look at my TikTok and I've posted in 2 months. This is Oh, it's a nightmare.
Where I'm like, the podcast is coming out and I think the podcast is good. So
yeah,
you're going to watch. Yeah, like
here we go.
Definitely.
But
so that was exciting.
It was fun. It was a very tiring week, though, especially because I wasn't anticipating being there as much as I ended up being.
Well,
there.
you won the award and then stayed up drinking until 5 a.m. and then hosted a St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, that was an insane thing I did where I got home at 5:30 in the morning, woke up again at 10 a.m., set up the house, and started drinking again.
That's insane.
Which is a normal thing to do when you're a healthy adult woman.
Yeah, when you're in your late 20s.
Yeah, and then I was drinking all day. Then walked back to the theater center, drank more there, got an award.
That's insane.
And then also stayed out until 1 a.m. And then
that's crazy, Blair.
No, I'm not okay. But like honestly, it's one of those things like you do it when you're in party mode and then you just don't do it again. And this week, I literally was saying, I was like, I'm so excited because yesterday I had nothing to do. I have nothing to do tonight and I have nothing to do tomorrow.
That's nice.
Except for catch up on some fucking work that I didn't do because I was drinking all last week.
That's awesome, man.
Just excellent. Might go see a movie.
Yeah,
Crazy shit.
I want to see Perfect Days. I haven't seen that
Oh,
yet.
you'd love it.
Yeah.
It's really up your alley.
The problem is that I make plans with Reese where we're like, we're going to go see Dune together. We're going to see this. And then you have to like organize your schedules. But
once you commit to seeing something with someone and then like you're like, oh, well, I no longer have the option to just go alone.
Yes.
Because you're like, this person said, well, I need to see it with you.
Yeah. And that's
we
love.
must go together. That's love. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Inconvenient for planning things.
We saw James Acaster, podcast field trip to see James Acaster in Toronto.
Was so good.
So good, man.
Amazing.
I'm really happy we saw him.
Oh my God, me too.
I really, really enjoyed it. I saw 2 nights and I can break down the difference between the 2 nights.
Yeah,
because we saw the first night. And it's the concept of the show is, I think the tour is done, so you can't see it, but go watch the special when it's on his website or whatever. And it's basically like before when he was performing, he would always get really mad at hecklers for heckling him. So the concept of this one is he's going through the show and it's talking about his relationship with audiences since he was a kid to an adult and how that all relates to like his inner child and like therapy. But if anybody heckles him throughout the show, he can't get mad at them and he can't get mad at if the audience isn't laughing.
Yeah.
He just has to like be positive. And it's a really cool exercise in like, you know, like control and like being on stage. Cause I get really mad at hecklers too. Like I find it really disrespectful. But watching him, I was like, oh my God, like you come off so good. If you have to be like, what's going on, man? Like as opposed to being like, fuck off.
Yeah, fuck
like
off,
he
kill yourself.
comes off so good.
Yeah, you can really tell. And it's excellent in the way too that like, first of all, this special's called Heckler's Welcome, which is an awesome name.
Yeah.
And then he also like, at the beginning, he's like, I've been doing this for now 16 years. And it was like, such a mind, and we talked about this, but like such a mind fuck of like, oh yeah, if you do the same thing for 16 years, you get really good at it.
Yeah.
Whereas like when you start something new and you're not immediately amazing at it and you get so down on yourself, it's like, oh, well, maybe if I tried this for a little longer than 2 weeks, I might get good at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he, was really, he talked about a lot of things that felt like, obviously, it's like if you go in as a comedian, you're gonna like relate to it.
But that is true because you are thinking of yourself in the context of like audiences and how you feel on stage. Like there's a point in which he says like, the only thing worse for me than being on stage is being in the audience because it makes me feel insignificant. And I was like, fucking girl, me too.
No, and that really hit in the way that like, he said this one thing where it was like, even if it doesn't make sense, if I see someone on stage, I'm mad that I'm not the one on stage.
Yeah,
even if it's like.
never wanted to do something more in my life.
Yeah, and that's like truly, truly been like such like a thing that I've never put into words. But it truly does feel like at some point when I was a child, someone didn't let me go on stage or told me I wasn't ready or not good enough or whatever. And now I just need to be up there.
Yeah.
Even if it's like Cirque du Soleil, I get angry that I'm not doing circus tricks. Like my parents have this story that I was at some sort of like home show or something and there was a Frank Sinatra impersonator and I just went up and sang with him.
That's so crazy.
I must have been like 3 years old, ruined this guy's gig. And I was a shy kid, so it didn't make a lot of sense.
But you were like, I've never wanted to be anything more than
I
a Frank
just
Sinatra
needed to sing with this guy. And there's like multiple stories of me doing stuff like this and then like not crying and not talking to anyone.
Well, that was the thing that really blew my mind because he was talking about how like his first experience on stage or like in front of an audience when he was a kid, he like was sobbing as a child.
Yes.
His grandmother was doing a presentation of a spinning wheel in his class, which is insane. And I was like, oh my God, my first memory of ever like being in front of audience or on stage is when I was 4 years old and we were in Disney World. and they were doing some kind of like presentation. Like it was like they do those like, little like kind of like vignette plays for the kids at the different Disney castles. And this was like a Beauty and the Beast one. And they wanted to pick someone to come up and be like a mini Gaston. And the guy who was playing Gaston was like getting so many laughs. And it was that same thing. I was like, oh, all I want to do, I want to get up there and I want people to laugh at me.
Yeah.
Then I got up there and they put me in like a muscle suit and then everyone laughed at me. But then I was like, they're laughing at me. So then I started to weep. Like cry and cry and cry until they removed me from the stage. And I was like, what? Like, that's why I was like, this is so relatable. I was like, that literally happened to me where it's like, whenever I'm not on stage, I feel insignificant and like nobody notices me. Yeah. But whenever I'm on stage, I feel like everyone's laughing at me.
It's a deep humiliation.
I'm humiliated.
Yeah, I never understand how I feel about heckling because I think that there are like moments within like audience engagement of heckling that are so great.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of become this like, I think a kind of misunderstanding where people think like, oh, like heckling is what comedians want. And it's like, I'm going to have this moment and they're going to like clip it and put it on TikTok and it's going to go viral. And it's like, I almost feel like comedians doing this like kind of crowd work thing is almost destroyed heckling in that way.
Oh, for sure. Because, it was, continue.
Yeah, just because now everyone's trying to go viral all the time. For what?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like even when the show that we were at, all of the heckles, it's so strange because like they're fans of him.
Yeah.
So it's people interrupting a show written by a comedian that they paid money to come see and that they love because he also isn't from here. So when he comes here, like probably 90% of the people in that theater were fans of his, right? Like,
oh yeah.
But then they're like interrupting, being like, here's a bit you did. Like basically being like, here's a reference to a joke you've done. So you've interrupted the show that's been written by the person.
It's very interesting how much like there's this, like it's almost that we don't have like enough fan clubs anymore or something.
Yeah. And it's, I almost wonder if it's like the social media of it all, of like people are used to, they want to feel closer to these celebrities or comedians. Because it was very strange. Like everything was like a reference. Like these people knew so much about his life, but they were also being so nasty because it's like they think it's funny, which also pisses me off because that happens to me constantly. Like people are like, I saw you here and I knew you were here. I love your videos, but I knew it was you because you smell like shit. Like that's how people fucking talk to me. We've talked about this, like even comments on the podcast are like, Queen Blair looking so beautiful today. Look at that freaky freak, Carley. You little freaky goblin freak, which is fine. Like that doesn't upset me. It's in person, like very weird. Like when somebody comes up and is like, somebody came up to me after like at the like, JFL, one of the JFL shows last year. And she was like, do you believe the things you say? And like, just like was like digging into it. And I was like, oh, this is my partner. Like she's coming up to me and Reese. And I'm like, oh, this is my partner Reese. And she's like, yeah, I know. You talk about him a lot. And I was like, I can tell that you want to be my friend. And this is how you're doing it. But you're hurting my feelings and ruining my night. He was saying that this is like a very Canadian thing. Like I guess he had gone out with friends after the show, which I want to know who they are. Because I feel I want to know who they are.
I want to know.
Because I feel like we know them, but I don't know who they are. But he was saying like the way that every Canadian compliments you is being like, yeah, I've seen some of your stuff. It's all right. And you're like, okay, thanks. Being like, yeah, I saw your special on Netflix and it saved my life. But when I first saw it, I was like, this guy looks interesting. Like everyone was so fucking mean. It was crazy.
That is, honestly, now that you say it, that's a very, very Canadian way to compliment.
Look at this freaky freak, Carley freaky bitch. Like, are you a fan?
No, they love you though. There's always like queen of the fucked up little girls. Carley. Then Blair with a lovely blouse today.
It's literally, that's every fucking comment. Blair, you're glowing. Garbage freak rat queen. Like it's Carley here. Like it's insane. I don't mind it, but it's different.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the dogs?
Yeah, let's talk about the dogs.
Okay.
We're gonna
as we've talked about before, 2 dogs were killed over the course of the Salem witch trials.
Bummer.
So yeah, strap in because it's not going to end well for the dogs. But
yeah,
it didn't end well for the
horrifying
women and men that were hanged as well.
Yeah, the women, the men, and the dogs all suffered.
Yes. And these dogs were like either connected to or accused themselves of witchcraft. This is not necessarily... it sounds crazier than it is because of familiars.
Okay.
So that's why, like, that was the account of, people believed that these dogs, well, one of them, I think another one they literally just thought was a witch, which is insane. But like the idea that a familiar, which we talked about before, is an animal that a witch basically puts a portion of their soul inside of.
Yes.
Horcrux style.
Horcrux, the animal. And then
It's
the animal
the
can also
genie.
do their bidding.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know, they'd think that like witches sometimes rode their familiar. So a lot of these times, like they thought like the witches had like ridden these dogs or whatever. Like it could be anything. It could be a hog. It could be a bird. It wasn't just dogs
Not
or
a hog.
cats. Yeah. My familiar is a hog.
My familiar, sorry, that's my hog.
It's my
You come
truffle
into my
hog.
house, there's a giant pig on the couch. I'm
The
like,
truffle
sorry,
pig.
it's my hog.
It's my familiar hog.
It's my familiar
Love
hog.
searching for
I
truffles.
put a piece of my brain in the hog, and now the hog lives inside.
The hog lives in. There's this amazing video online. I forget her name, but it's a pig, and Reese and I talk about her all the time. Her name's like Miranda the pig or something.
Awesome.
But
So
she
she's
lives,
hot.
yeah. But she lives inside, and she just loves being warm and heat. Like she's obsessed with it. So she'll climb under people's sweatshirts or whatever. But there's a video of her.
How big is the pig?
She's little. She's not like a
she's
full grown pig. She's
she's a
like
little
maybe
pig.
the size of a dog.
Okay.
But she'll like
Awesome.
pull the vents out from the wall because she wants them to be making heat. So if the heat isn't on, she like destroys the house. So she's a familiar too. That's my hog.
That's awesome. That's my hog. That's my hog right there.
That's my hog right there.
That's my hog right there.
Massachusetts law stated at the time, if any man or woman be a witch, that is, so any man or woman that is a witch,
That is a witch.
if they have or consult with a familiar spirit, they shall be put to death.
Okay.
So the animal will also be put to death. If you
Rude.
consult with the familiar, the witch will be put to death, and the animal will be put to death because that's a part of your soul, right? Which sucks.
Okay.
So if you were a witch, Jim would be killed.
No.
Sorry for that image.
Fuck, dude, she's so helpless.
I know she could not.
You know what? They never be able to pry her out from the suitcase she hides in when she gets anxious. She'd dig her little closet in. She's not getting out.
Absolutely.
Good
not.
luck finding her.
Yeah, you're
hiding.
not getting Jim the cat. Okay.
You're not getting the cat out. Good luck executing a cat, a hog, sure.
Yes. Cats in this was less so in the this was not in Salem or in America, but in the witch hunts in Europe where they were burning witches at the stake, they would oftentimes burn the animals as well, like throw them in at the bottom, which is really sad.
God. That's so sad.
Yeah, and dogs were used to find witches in the Americas as well. If you recall from the beginning, when
Yeah.
John Indian and Tituba made the witch cake
Oh no.
out of piss.
Oh no.
They fed it to the dog so the dog could find out who the witch was. I actually don't think Tituba did. I think it was John Indian made the witch cake with Martha Carrier or Martha Corey. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. But they made the witch cake because the girls were bewitched and they're trying to find the witch, and they feed the witch cake, which is made out of piss as well as cake and stuff.
Awesome.
And the dog is supposed to find the witches. Didn't happen that way. The girls started accusing. But it was believed that dogs were involved in the Salem witch trials well before they were accused because they were literally trying to use them to find
witches.
Can I ask a clarifier? What? How does the cake find the witch? Do they react to the cake?
So you eat the cake if you're a dog, and then that allows you to basically become a bloodhound for witches.
That's awesome.
So in October 1692, this was when the first dog was accused of witchcraft.
Oh God.
I know. Sorry.
Bummer.
And this was in Andover, Massachusetts. This is a nearby town to Salem. And Andover was actually the place with the most witch accusations during the Salem witch trials.
Oh. Was it Andover the limit?
It was Andover the limit.
That was
Got
rough.
him!
That wasn't good. That was really bottom of the barrel.
Those women's lives were Andover the second those girls came to town to accuse them.
Ooh, that's good.
45 people were accused of being witches in Andover.
Oh my God.
Yes. And I wanted to get a little bit into the history of Andover because it is just like information and kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So Martha Carrier was accused in Andover in May 1692. If you remember Martha Carrier, she's the Queen of Hell.
Oh, I love her.
Yes, we love the Queen of Hell.
Queen of Hell.
You know, at that
Mother
infamous
Carrier.
witch feast
With the devil.
with the devil that the girls claimed happened in the backyard of the Paris's house, where Martha Carrier was crowned the Queen of Hell and sat at the devil's side.
Oh, that's awesome.
Fucking queen. If
I
you're going to be
literally-
accused of being a witch,
Be the Queen of Hell.
absolutely.
Be the Queen of Hell and do it at a barbecue.
For sure.
This is going to be, I'm so excited for summer.
We should do a,
Queen of Hell barbecue.
We've been talking about how we want to host like a May Day thing.
Oh,
we should do like a Queen of Hell May Day barbecue celebration.
Yes. We should like put a bunch of like different things that like we keep track of our friends doing, and whoever does all the things on our list, we crown them the Queen of Hell.
Yeah, and we have a little blue book that everyone signs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Martha Carrier was accused in Andover, and the accusations in Andover really started picking up in July of 1692. So Martha Carrier was accused in May.
Okay.
And we've talked about this before, where a lot of the women who were accused by the girls, it was really because the girls were privy to the information from hearing their mothers talk about like who benefited from inheritance battles or who was. It's the town gossip, right? So it's like if so-and-so, something happened to so-and-so in the next town over and you hear your mom talking about it. Next thing you know, 2 weeks later, you're saying Martha Carrier is the Queen of Hell and you've never met her before in your fucking life.
Which, as you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like she just went to college with your mom. You're in the same sorority.
And you're like,
whatever.
Yeah, that bitch.
She's the Queen of fucking hell.
So literally me I came in talking about my mom's friends and being like, my mom's friends are crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know them. I would accuse them of being witches for sure.
Absolutely. Drop of a hat.
Drop of a hat. I'd be like, weird.
Fucking weird.
Fucking weird.
So these accusations began. I feel like I am so bad at segues. Like, it feels like I just wait for you to finish your thought and then go back. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like when you do it, it's more natural. And I'm just like, anyways.
No, I won't worry about it. Okay. I'm bad at segues too. And I'm even worse at motorized scooters.
Got him.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Woo! Yeah, bitch.
Fuck a bus pass, she got a moped.
Okay. So this is what I
mean. Back to the dogs.
This is what I mean. It sounds like I hate you. And I just don't understand the correct way to say it.
I think your current method of taking a pregnant pause and then starting to talk is great.
It is.
It adds to the vibe. Yeah. But don't stare at me like that. It's scary.
Anyways.
So the dogs.
In July of 1692, Joseph Ballard brought two of the afflicted girls to Andover.
Joseph Ballard.
I know.
Oh my God, great-great-great-grandfather of Robert Ballard, who discovered the Titanic.
No, I was literally thinking about that when I was writing this down. I was like, the name Ballard really has a chokehold on this podcast.
Whoa. Okay, we have no proof they're related, but wouldn't that be fun if they were?
Last names are similar.
Their last names are the same.
Yes. So his wife had been sick all summer.
Oh no.
And he had heard of the witch accusations and the bewitchment cases in Salem, so brought two of the girls over to see if his wife was ill because of witches.
Yeah.
I had to really go back into the depths of the book that I read about the Salem witch trials to get information about this.
Ooh, okay.
It's called The Witches by Stacy something, but we can put it in the show notes as well.
Love.
It was good. It was pretty, like, it was informational. It wasn't my favorite book I've ever read, but it was very informational. Yeah. And it reminded me that, like, so many of the men who got accused of witchcraft were trash, like truly trash. Like John Proctor, which we talked about before, like beat his servants.
Oh my God.
Giles Corey killed a servant a while ago. George Burroughs berated his pregnant wife publicly. Like, these men were trash.
God.
I forgot about that. And I was reading it and I was like, we'll talk about that in later episodes when we go more in depth.
We should do an episode on the men.
That's actually a really good idea.
We actually
Blair.
should. Yeah, do an episode
we
on the men.
We can do like the notable women and then the notable men.
Notable women, notable men. Yeah.
I love that. That's actually a really good idea.
That would be fun to compare and contrast.
The juxtaposition.
Juxtaposition.
Okay, so yeah, so he brought two of the bewitched girls over to Andover.
Okay.
This is Joseph Ballard, to see if it was his wife who was bewitched. His wife, Elizabeth Ballard.
Okay.
She died. So
no, from the illness?
Yeah. She succumbed to her illness on July 27th, 1692.
Oh, that's rough.
5 days later than my birthday and hundreds of years before.
But basically your birthday.
Basically my birthday.
More or less your birthday.
More or less.
Yeah.
Loosely my birthday.
Loosely your birthday.
To die on my birth week, hundreds of years before I was born.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
It's like they're not even thinking about you.
No, exactly. It's like they're not even thinking that in approximately 300 and a bit years,
you might want to have a birthday party.
Yeah, I might be born.
It might be weird for you to have a birthday party
on the same day
week
that Elizabeth Ballard succumbed to her illnesses in Andover, Massachusetts. Yeah, in 1692.
It's fucked up.
I'm a victim.
Up. It's like being born on 9/11.
I'm triggered. Like it's actually like talking about this now, like makes like my body is like literally holding on to the trauma
because you
of the
know
fact that
you feel like she's dead and she's dying again every time it's your birthday now,
and it's all about her. This is exactly what it would be like to be born on Christmas or 9/11.
Yeah, this is like when my grandfather died on my mother's birthday.
That's so selfish.
Yeah,
that's fucking selfish.
Exhausted.
It's exhausting. It's exhausting to be a woman in this world.
It's exhausting to one of these things.
Talk about the dead dog.
I don't want to. And you told us to vamp.
We're vamping. It was so loud. He's so loud.
Okay, so the girls agreed that Elizabeth was bewitched. And then a total of 45 residents over the next year or so were accused of witchcraft. Okay?
Yeah.
Historians are not in agreement on who the two girls were.
Okay.
So we don't know who they were.
Okay.
But if we're doing like a movie, I say it's obviously got to be like Abigail for sure, and then maybe Ann Putnam or Betty Paris.
Yeah.
Maybe Mercy Lewis, because Mercy Lewis was very much the ringleader.
Okay.
Mary Warren, probably not.
No. Disgusting.
Disgusting. Love it. So, yes, she succumbs to her illnesses, all that stuff, blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
In October of 1692, a girl in Andover accuses a neighbor's dog of trying to bewitch her because it was looking at her weird.
That's awesome. That's me. Honestly, I get it. Been there.
So then the dog was shot.
This is me with Alicia's weird pug when I come over and it tries to sit in my lap.
You're like, that's a witch.
Its legs don't move. It just kind of rolls onto my lap. And I'm like, the dog is trying to fuck me up.
When you see a white dog with crusty eyes.
It's like your dog is trying to fucking hex me right now.
That is a hex.
Yeah, your dog's hexing me.
Hex.
Your freak crust dog
your
is
Maltese with crusty little eyes is trying
me.
to hex me.
It's hexing my ass
with your
right now.
Its little black glassy doll eyes. It's trying to hex me.
Trying to hex the fuck out of me right now.
Yes. So the dog was believed through some way or another to just be the literal incarnate of the devil. So the
That's too bad.
Yeah, which is not great if you're a dog because you can't really defend yourself.
This is the plot of Today for You, Tomorrow for Me from Rent.
Yes.
When he kills the dog for the rich family.
Evita just won't shut up. So yeah, this was Evita. We'll call her Evita. She's an Akita Evita. And she was shot by Angel Dumont Chouinard.
From the window ledge of that 23rd story.
Like that. I love Rent. I know people don't like it. I know it's unfinished. Blah,
what?
Blah, blah, blah,
I love Rent.
I love Rent.
Darling, be a dear. Haven't slept in a year. I need your help to make my neighbor's scrappy dog disappear. Today. Rent is amazing.
So good.
Who's insulting Rent?
People are like, it's not that good. It's unfinished. Blah, blah, blah,
Shut
blah,
up.
blah. I don't know. It's
the same
great.
when people are just like, Hamilton's not that good. I'm like, shut up.
You're like, listen to Hamilton, though, with the ears and the mindset of somebody who's never listened to it before and doesn't know it's popular. If you unearthed a cassette tape of that, never knowing what music was, and you listen to that,
be like, this
is fucking
crazy.
Great.
No, Rent is so good. What are people? I do understand that like Rent should have gone through more revisions 100%. Before it went to Broadway, but too bad Jonathan Larson had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
He had Marfans. And I know he has Marfans because people with Marfans are very tall and thin and have big hands.
Oh no.
So my fear is that Reese has Marfans. But you don't die from it as much now. Because Troye Sivan has Marfans and he's doing fine. The problem is that if he had undiagnosed Marfans, which caused some kind of like heart thing or a seizure or something.
He went to the doctor
and they were like, you're fine.
And they were like, you're
fine.
He
got womaned at the doctor.
He got womaned. They're singing happy birthday. You just want to lay down and cry. Just another birthday. It's 39. I love it. Say 29. Hell, you still feel like you're 22. Turn 30 in 1990. Bang, you're dead. What can you do? What can you do?
I love Tick Tick Boom.
I got
like in a fight with Kyle Dooley because Kyle Dooley doesn't like Tick Tick Boom. He was like, the main character is just a straight guy, and his biggest problem is that he's turning 30 while his friend has AIDS. Like, his friend has AIDS, that should be the story. And I was like, you shut your fucking mouth.
You don't know what you're talking about.
He is an artist.
Kyle Dooley can have an opinion that I care about when he follows me back on Letterboxd. Right now, watching him with us, he's coaching our improv troupe. Our whole improv troupe follows him.
He doesn't follow any of us.
He doesn't follow anyone. He's got an anonymous Letterboxd account that we all just like freak follow.
And he doesn't follow us.
He doesn't follow us. He doesn't follow anyone. He's on it every day.
Yeah.
He's on it every day.
It's my favorite thing to do on Letterboxd is to go to activity, and it'll be like Kyle Dooley rated fucking Terminator 3 fucking 3.5 stars. Like, it's the most random movie, and he doesn't even like it. Like, it's like 3.5 stars.
No, it's nothing. And he's just adding to watch lists all the time. Like, this man's got a fucking watch list, and the only people who sees it are like our fucking improv team.
I know, it's harrowing, and you can keep this shit in.
Yeah, keep this shit in, Kyle. That he's listening to the podcast.
Follow us back on Letterboxd.
Follow me back on Letterboxd, and then you can have an opinion on Tick Tick Boom.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Fucking ridiculous.
It's exhausting.
I love Rent. I don't know why we got there. Oh, because the dog was named Akita. We decided
his name
Akita.
Evita.
Oh, his name is Evita. It's an Akita named Evita.
Akita named Evita.
Yeah, in all her glory, from the window ledge. We just can't sing. We just can't keep singing different. Trying to put them
we're stuck in a loop. Okay, so the dog was shot because it looked at the girl weird.
And that made it the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there was a Puritan minister named Cotton Mathers. And this book that I read talked way too fucking much about him. I do not care about him at all. But the reason he was referenced so much is because he's basically like the self-appointed like witch expert of the colonies. He was he was like kind of involved in the Salem witch trials, but like he lived far, like not, I think he lived in Boston or something.
Okay.
But he would comment on them as a witch expert. And he had said that because the dog was shot and died, it wasn't actually a witch or the devil because you wouldn't be able to shoot the devil dead.
Oh.
So the dog was absolved of its crimes.
After they killed it?
Yes.
Okay. And this guy's name is Cotton Mattress? That's too bad.
God. Mathers.
I'm in for Cotton Mattress. I've been Pattress in my
I
mattress.
am in for Cotton Mattress. I've been a witch and also a devil. The dog is a devil. Shot it dead.
No, it's not a devil anymore.
Mattress. I love that song so much.
The only song that's better than that, Hamster Dance. I said it.
Hamster Dance. Yeah. Are you ready? I have to stop singing.
All right, everybody. Here we go. It's a brand new version of the Do-Si-Do.
Just stop your feet and clap your hands. Come on, everybody. It's the hamster dance. We got to keep going. No, Blair, we got to
Okay. Tell me more about the dogs.
All right.
Fuck.
The second dog that was killed.
No.
There's only two. So once we get through this, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of paint a picture here.
Okay.
So John Bradstreet was the son of a former colonial governor, and he was a brother of the Andover Justice of the Peace. Okay. And while meeting some of the bewitched girls on the street, a dog ran out of an alley, ran up to him, barked at him, and then ran away.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl, okay, so if that happened to you, what would you think that meant?
Be like, the dog is here.
Yeah, well, what they thought was that he was a witch and that he was afflicting the dog and writing that dog to witch meetings in the middle of the night.
Yeah, for that would be my second thought.
Yeah, if you're like, the dog was
here.
But more importantly,
maybe he's riding the dog to witch meetings in the night.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
natural conclusion.
Yes. It was believed that many witches kidnapped and rode animals around at night. This is like a common belief. And
awesome.
So if an animal started acting strange or became injured or seemed very tired or died, they would assume that the animal was hag-ridden. Their words.
Hag-ridden. You mean my ex?
You just called yourself a hag.
Yeah. And I do it again.
Yeah, and they thought it was because it had been kidnapped by witches and stuff, and ridden by a hag. Mm-hmm. Hag-ridden. Hag-ridden. Do you think that's why his name is Hagrid?
Maybe.
Hag-ridden.
You're a wizard dog, hairy dog.
What?
It's dog, hairy dog butter.
What the
Harry Dog Potter.
No, you're saying that to me like that's a sentence, and it's making me feel like I'm having a stroke.
But
it's like that thing that Aubrey Plaza had when she had a stroke, where she was like, you think you're making sense, but you're just saying words to people. That's what's happening right now. Harry Dog Potter.
Harry.
I don't know what you don't understand. Harry Dog Potter.
It's a joke because his name's Harry and dogs are Harry.
It's not a joke.
It's a thing. Hag-rid the dog.
Oh my god!
That's the dog. What dog would Harry Potter be? Stop it. I think Umbridge would be a poodle.
Yeah, Umbridge would be like a Pomeranian with crusty eyes.
Yeah.
I think that Harry Potter would be kind of a little terrier that's those white dogs with like little black eyes, like black spots. You know what I mean? Like a little terrier.
Voldemort would be a snake.
Voldemort would be a snake.
Not even a dog. He's a snake.
Happy International Snake Day, Voldemort.
I mean, a snake. You're a snake literally and figuratively.
Bitch. Imagine turning yourself into any fucking animal and you choose a snake so you look fucking busted as all hell. You're like, wait, I didn't know that when I split my soul up, it made me look fucking ugly.
I didn't know I look fucked.
Wait, you guys didn't say that I looked fucking
You guys didn't tell me I looked fucked and fucked up.
In the flashbacks in the movie, he's just like a handsome guy.
He's just like,
and then he looks like a fucking circumcised dick.
Yeah, I was like, sorry, I didn't realize my nose would get shaved
I didn't know it
down.
looked like a scrotum.
So I didn't realize how smooth I'd be.
Nobody said that in the scrolls and ancient texts that my nose would get shaved.
But it was gonna be
what the
so
fuck?
Smooth.
What the fuck, guys?
Can you imagine if you just like rubbed oil all over Voldemort and then slid him down the Department of Mysteries? You know?
You're doing like a big, you're playing
so
like
slippery.
bocce ball with his slippery ass body. He gets covered in flu powder.
Yeah, he goes into whoa. He gets.
I love saying Harry Potter things out loud because at the end of it seemed like she was just being like, okay, it's a powder that makes you fly.
Yeah,
fucking
like, fuck
flu
it,
powder.
whatever.
Who
Fucking
cares? Blech.
Who gives a shit?
This one's the night bus, and it's
'Cause
driven
at
by
night.
a Jamaican shrunken head. Deal with it.
I put it in the books now, so you're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, exactly. What does he say? He's like, hold on tight, man. Like, it's like such an offensive betrayal.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Yes, that's what it says. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Okay, Harry Potter talk over.
Over.
Back
Lock
to the
that
dead
down.
dogs. Okay, so the dog was
Is there dead
hag-ridden.
dogs in Harry Potter?
Dead dogs?
He
Well,
killed a
Sirius
dog?
Black
Oh, right.
is an animagus, turns into a dog.
And he
then
died.
He dies. He gets killed by Bellatrix Lestrange.
I killed Sirius Black.
I
Obviously,
was so mad when she sang in the movies because she didn't sing in the books.
she's amazing. Like, obviously,
God.
she sucks because she's like, it's like her and the guy who played Hagrid were both like, J.K. Rowling didn't do anything wrong, which is an insane take.
She also broke up Emma Thompson and I'm forgetting his name, Kenneth Branagh.
I know, Branagh.
Branagh.
Oh, and Kenneth Branagh's my enemy. Well, he's my sister's enemy, so he's my enemy too.
All I know about your sister are her enemies and her hair color.
Yeah.
I've never met her.
She's got brown hair. She hates Aaron Tveit and Kenneth Branagh.
And the musical Moulin Rouge.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so she hates
And
Kenneth
she was in
Branagh
Concord
because
Floral.
yes, Kenneth Branagh like is obsessed with like producing these crazy Shakespeare adaptations and then casting himself in the lead and like directing it, and just it's like the most flagellatory fucking jerk off circle. I think he produced a movie where he plays Othello, and who's the guy who's not Othello in that?
Oh.
The bird in Aladdin.
No, I know who you're talking about.
The bird in Aladdin? Gilbert Gottfried?
No, not his name. No, but like the name of the bird.
Othello's
Friend, but they're not friends because they fight.
Iago.
Iago.
So he casts a black man as Iago, and a white man, plays Othello.
Awesome.
Which is insane. So we don't stand. I mean, I like Kenneth Branagh because I think that his incredibly, again, like jerk off fucking Hercule Poirot, Agatha Christie movies are horrible, but fucking fun to watch. But to cheat on Emma Thompson,
That's crazy.
public enemy number one.
Crazy.
I'm sorry,
Who would
Kenneth
do that?
Branagh. You better hope you never see me in the streets, okay? Because you're about to get your nose shaved down like one Voldemort, one Tom Riddle. I'm gonna put on my brass knuckle, and it's my fist, your head, the ground. curb stomped.
And I support you.
Thank you. Where were we?
Dogs.
Kind of just started dog.
Oh, because we were barking at each other for a while.
Yeah, we were barking, which we'll stay in.
Woof. So the dog. That's the cat.
Wow, that's a cat.
Wow. That's the cat.
Okay.
We're centering.
So the dogs were being ridden by hags.
The dogs being it's like a Bruce Springsteen song. And the dogs running from the 45 and they're being run by a hag. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Back to Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Jesus are going.
That's a really good impression, Blair.
Thanks. I love Bruce Springsteen.
That checks out. Have you seen the bumper sticker that's like on if you walk up like the road by my house? I'm about to fully dox myself. There's a car with a bunch of like novelty bumper stickers on. Like one of them is like, sorry if my driving's bad, I'm giving myself roadhead. Like it's like fucking bumper stickers like that. But there's one, is Wild Hearts the Bruce Springsteen album that's blue?
Yes.
Right? But it's like, honk if you love, it's like, I'm, honk all you want. I'm too busy listening to Bruce Springsteen's 1978 album, Wildflower, with the hit single, like, it's like a really, really long Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love that car. It's so funny.
I love that. Okay, back to the dogs.
Back to the dogs. So, the girls had accused this dog that had come up to John Bradstreet. The dog ran up to John Bradstreet in the street when he was talking to the bewitched girls, barked at him and left. And the girls on the street right there accused him, like in person.
Oh my God.
Okay. And they're like, you're a fucking witch. You bewitched that dog and you ride that dog to witch meetings. Get these girls in an improv class. These girls need to be doing premise prov right now. Get them in Second City Conservatory.
They premised.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
There. They were like, why
Get
did
these
the dog
girls
run up to you? Well,
on Taskmaster Jr.
Taskmaster Jr. The justification, it's all there.
Absolutely. Get them in. They're going to kill the studio task.
Ugh, love.
My prize task, for the prize task, I brought in a witch cake. And it's piss.
It's piss, and it's yummy.
A cake. Yummy piss cake.
Yummy piss cake.
So they accuse him on the street, and because this is kind of an example of some of the more well-connected members of like Massachusetts government, people in Salem, were able to actually kind of escape the consequences of their accusations. And I don't want to say like consequence because they're accused for no reason at all, but they were able to escape. So there's an example of one woman who was connected to the governor being able to just like, she just disappeared from the prison in the middle of the night, but she just escaped.
Yeah, she was like, nah.
Like a daughter of a like a niece of a well-connected man in Boston was able to hide for a long time when she was accused of being a witch, things like that. So because he was connected to the Andover Justice of the Peace and a former son of a governor, he kind of knew what was going down. Yeah. So as soon as they accused him, he fled to New Hampshire because if you actually cross the New Hampshire border, New Hampshire was a lot less puritanical than Massachusetts. Because if you recall, George Burroughs, the minister that was accused and who was eventually hanged for being a witch, he was on the border of New Hampshire. But you got to get into New Hampshire. So this guy left and he was fine. He returned to Salem after the witch trials, or Andover after the witch trials had ended. But he was accused. And even though the dog was just bewitched, they shot the dog.
Oh, God. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Now I'm pissed and miserable.
Do you want to do Let's Make This Tragedy About Us then?
Is that it for the dogs?
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
That's
people
crazy.
really wanted to learn about it, and that's really all the information
No,
we
that's
have.
pretty
They're kind
interesting,
of informational. I mean, it is really interesting because, like, I do think we should do maybe the next episode should be the men.
I like that.
And if we do that, like, they die in horrific ways, but it's not going to be as sad as this episode.
Yeah, that's
true. Do you know what I mean? Like, isn't that strange?
Yeah, you know what? This was your highly requested dog episode.
Okay.
And next we're doing the No One Wants It, the men episode.
But the men episode will be more informational and less sad. You guys don't know what you want sometimes.
Yeah. Let's make this tragedy about us.
Okay. Let's make this tragedy about us. Okay, Blair, usually in Let's Make This Tragedy About Us, you know, but I'll say to the viewers, this is the part of the episode where we make this horrible tragedy that is the Salem witch trials and 2 innocent dog murders about us.
Yes, because when you think about a tragedy, you're always like, actually not enough about me.
I want a piece of this.
I want a piece of this.
Let me get in there.
Let me get in there. Let me put my coins in.
So usually we pose a question to each other, but I thought we could really get your acting and improv chops nice and warmed up.
Okay.
And we can role play. And
Awesome.
you have to convince me that a dog is a witch.
Okay.
Okay?
Should I do an accent?
If you want, if it feels right, then you can. Okay. I'll do an accent if you do an accent.
Okay. Mister.
Yes.
Oh, that dog there is staring me right in the eye.
Oh, all right. It's just a dog, me lass.
No, he's bewitched. I've seen that dog hanging around Missy Good. Missy Good's a witch.
Yes, in our universe, Missy Good is a witch.
Missy Good is a witch. And Missy Good's bewitched the dog, told the dog to steal.
What?
The dog's bitten off my toe.
Let me see it then.
There you go. There's my foot, missing a toe.
Wow.
He
All
ate
right.
it.
He ate the toe.
I think the dog needs to be executed.
How should we execute it, lass?
With a big sword. I don't know when were guns invented.
Guns existed, but
with a gun. with a gun and a sword.
The other two dogs were shot.
Oh.
I said that out loud.
Okay, yeah. I meant to ask when guns were invented.
But I'm gonna yes and you, of course.
Okay.
We'll get to
big sword and
big
gun.
sword and gun.
Big sword
Anything
and gun.
for you. What's the dog doing to you besides biting your toe?
It's humping me leg.
It's humping your leg.
It's humping me leg.
That's a witch hump, isn't
It's
it?
a witch hump, innit? It's because the dog's bewitched. The dog's bewitched. It's got little scraggly eyes. It's
rotten little scraggly
scraggly eye dog.
Bang. And scene.
And she regrets it the rest of her life.
Yeah. But
That's
she has to
my
hold
narrative.
That. She has to
I have
hold
to
that
carry
with her.
that.
Yeah.
She carries that with her to the
Do
grave.
you want to do another one? And I'll be the little girl
Okay,
now?
yeah.
Okay, I'll do a different character. Mister?
Yes.
Sorry. I was surprised by your response. I don't know why.
Yes.
That dog over there. It's a witch.
What dog?
It just ran over it, and the one that just barked at you, it's a witch.
No.
Yeah, and you know what I just realized, actually? It's funny you bring it up. That dog, because it barked at you, you ride it to witch meetings, witch.
What?
Yeah,
no, I don't.
Yeah, you ride that witch to witch meetings, witch.
No, I can't even fit on the dog.
That's why the dog's so tired.
No, the dog. What are you calling? No.
Everybody always knows that if you get barked at by one dog running out of an alley and then that dog runs away, that's the number one sign that you're a witch.
Fine then, I am a witch. But you know what? The dog bewitched me. The dog looked in my eyes and made me a witch.
Yuckus!
Yep, that's it. And so it's the dog's fault. The dog should go, not I. I'll repent. I'll go to church.
Okay, you go to church and bring the dog to church, and the dog can repent too.
Have you seen the dog doing any spells?
I've seen the dog in my third eye doing spells. It's going double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron, bubble. Eye of newt and fucking something else. Horn of toad. And it's actually making it so that all the women in the town have their push-up bras are missing.
My God.
A tragedy.
Well, then the dog must die.
Yeah. For its push-up bra related crimes.
If I kill the dog, will I be relinquished of my witchcraft duties?
Maybe.
Should I try?
Yeah.
Okay, how should I kill the dog? Oh my. Call me your old yeller. Call me your old yeller. You been a good dog. You been a good dog.
And scene.
But then the dog doesn't die, it lives. It lives 100 years.
You shot it through the part in your heart where the bullet can go through the entire way through, and it's fine.
So the dog lives and it goes.
We did great acting right there. We should put that in. Are you crying?
Yeah, it goes through a different state.
God,
I don't want the dogs to die.
Well, if it makes you feel better, it was like 400 years ago.
Okay, thank you.
Right? Is that math right? 300-ish years ago?
Yeah, 300.
Yeah.
It's like 350 years ago.
Yeah. So they would have been dead anyway.
Okay, fine.
I agree. It's sad.
I know it's.
I'm
so
not
sad.
I'm not pro dog dying.
Okay, next we get to talk about men dying. That's not as bad.
I feel as though the purpose of Let's Make This Tragedy About Us is to get the energy up at the end of the episode.
But now
I've made you cry.
Improvise killing a dog. I feel bad. No, I feel amazing. I'm so excited. I love it here. I love my life.
We can't end the episode this way. I don't know what. I'm like literally trying to get in my brain to try and grab anything to talk about.
I'm thinking of coleslaw, and if I can get some coleslaw for dinner.
You can't just have cold slaw for dinner.
I could put it with something else.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
No, Blair, no!
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, we'll end the episode there. I mean,
I watched Train Spotting recently, really good movie.
Oh my God,
in there, one of the guys dies and the kitten has to live with it, with the guy who died.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he gets a kitten, and then he dies from toxoplasmosis from the kitten.
That happens in Train Spotting?
That happens in Train Spotting.
What, they do heroin?
Yeah, they do a bunch of heroin in
and
Train Spotting.
He also died from the kitten.
Yeah. Well, he dies.
I watched Paddington 2.
Oh, so good.
So good.
Oh my God.
Hugh Grant acting his ass off in that movie.
Ugh. No, I like Paddington is so good, but I get so sad thinking about Paddington being sad. I can't deal with Paddington being sad. I also can't deal with that scene in Toy Story 2 when Jessie doesn't have an owner anymore.
Okay, let's stop talking about sad things. Let's get away from that.
I can't deal
what about
with
the ending of Paddington 2 when Hugh Grant
really
is singing that Sondheim song? Yeah, this is it. And guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
Again, we're overwhelmed with gratitude for your support.
Sorry we talked about dead dogs.
We're sorry we'll never talk about the dead dogs ever again.
All right. And take care of yourselves.
Okay, goodbye, love you.
Bye.
Bye. They need to put this back in theaters. Oh, yeah. Keep it all in, Rob.
Perfect episode.